What's up, pond people? I'm underneath a 6-foot waterfall on top of a swim pond. We're out here at Modern Design Aquascaping in Tennessee. Let's check it out. What is going on, pond people? It's Brad with Pondscapes of Charlotte. I'm here with John and Tristan Adams, Modern Design Aquascaping, and we are at the Oasis, your backyard.
Boom!
How long did this take you guys to build?
18 years? No, it took a long time. I mean, technically construction time, about 10 weeks, spread out over the course of several years, as you know. But if I did this at a client's house, I would slate it for a 3-month project.
Tell me a little bit, like when did you get your first idea that you're gonna put something like this here?
Holy cow, man, I've been dreaming of this thing forever. There's drawings on the wall in there that are 5 years, more than 5 years old.
When I was in like elementary school, there was a hole outside of the front porch up there. There used to be a porch for that pond sat. It was the beginnings of there's going to be something amazing here.
We weren't ready then.
Yeah, no.
Like that, we couldn't have done this when we first started designing it. We had to learn all the things that we needed along the way to be able to pull off what we pulled off out here.
So you would fill back in the hole, or?
Yeah, we'd go work on a big project somewhere and we'd come up with new ideas and like, oh, we want to implement this somewhere. There's pieces of it. I could literally walk you around and tell you which pieces were inspired by whose water features and, you know, where we got the idea for this, and then what we decided how to, you know, we just make it our own.
What's up, pond people? I'm gonna hop in every now and again during this video to kind of talk us through and act as a tour guide for some of the other cool clips Brad got. He did a little first-person action and hopped on in that feature himself, so we're gonna go ahead and get to exploring. So here he is in the actual swim pond. Just up ahead is the main waterfall, and it do go down, so Brad's gonna play it safe and just kind of check out some of these rocks we got over here to the right. Now, this rock here, I'm told, is Missouri limestone, which is funny because John Adams and his property, which is where this feature is based in Tennessee, and we get all of our rock from Tennessee. So, you know, good rock in Tennessee, but John still wants some Missouri rock, I guess. Oh, and that is a ring you spot. I'm sorry, ladies, but Brad is happily married and off the market, so no pond boys for you. And one of the most amazing yet underrated aspects of this pond is that it is built right up against the house. There's some engineering and, of course, safety mechanisms in place to make sure it doesn't collapse in. It's very reinforced, but just a really cool aspect. And now Brad is sitting on the aerators, which is interesting. Some bubblage going on, but glad he's having a good time.
Throughout the whole water feature, there's tons of awesome driftwood, cedar logs. Where did you find all these like, you know, custom logs and stuff?
Class 5.
Yeah, you're gonna have to blur out this whole section of the video. No, honestly, we just keep our eyes open. We've got several friends that know what we do that call us when they see something special. I mean, just for instance, that big log that's laying across right there, that cedar tree, we built a water feature for a guy 5 miles from here. He calls me and he's like, man, I see the most amazing cedar log, and it's laying in front of the post office down here in town. Every piece of it's been that way.
So you have people out there that are looking for you. They know what you kind of look.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm not going to tell you who they are.
What about the plants? I mean, you have some awesome carnivorous plants in there. You have some other aquatic plants.
I'm not like a plant genie here. I'm more of colors and textures, and that's how I pick stuff. My wife grew most of the carnivorous plants that are in here. I bought them 12 years ago maybe, and she started propagating them and caring for them. And if you look across, I think the magic to all of that is the differences in colors and textures between the aquatic plants and the landscape plants, and that's really what we focused on.
There's not a corner, there's not a section where you can't look at something interesting.
We've had so many amazing, artistic, talented people come out and leave their mark on this thing. I mean, it's just incredible. And I'll come out here on Saturday morning and I'll pick a place and I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna take this little 2x2 area and do something cool, and I'll spend 2 hours farting around in this little spot, and then all of a sudden the cumulative effect of all of that madness is this. You know?
One of the most dramatic parts that I've noticed of the water feature is that waterfall to enter in the grotto. How tall is that waterfall?
So it's 6'3" of a drop into 2 feet deep of water, which gives it that great deep rumbly sound.
How much water is coming over that waterfall?
20,000 gallons per hour ish. I don't know how many that is per minute. 19,758 gallons per hour.
63. Okay, when you get up to the top, you know, how deep is the swim pond?
We set the laser for 6'3" to start with because we wanted to make sure we had 6 feet of water after we put the sand and everything in the bottom.
What type of filtration do you have on this? How do you keep the water clear?
Earn filters.
We got these little sponge cubes that we use. 2.4 million cubic feet of cubed sponges.
So everywhere from the grotto all the way back to the other edge, that's all disguised as a 2-foot deep swimming area for the kids and everything. That whole thing is an upflow wetland.
And the waterfalls at the very top coming in the swim pond, they look like they're just coming out of the rocks. How do you guys do that?
Every single one of those was actually core drilled by hand. We set all the stones, looked at what we had, and then came in and drilled the holes through each stone individually, and then bulkheaded through the liner on the backside.
Well, here it is. I know you're probably thinking, well, I hear about this grotto. I see the waterfall. I've seen the inside of the grotto. I'm still not really understanding how it works. Well, it's as simple as this. It looks dark from the outside. You wouldn't know there's anything behind this waterfall. Brad musters up the courage to go, and just like that, we are inside of an untouched realm. Except for the clearly well-earned Aquascape Artist of the Year trophy sitting there in the corner. This place looks like some sort of forgotten land that, you know, somebody finds once every 100 years and then it gets lost to time again. It is so natural looking. It just makes me want to sit there and meditate and let the moss grow over me and just become one with the grotto, little grotto boy.
How long, I mean, the grotto is so detailed. How long did it take to complete that section of it? And also, what's holding it up? What's supporting the grotto?
All right, so you got a total of about 300 man hours.
300 man hours?
In the grotto alone. We took rock pad to begin with, put the rock pad up, drilled a bunch of holes in the ceiling, fastened the rock pad up. And the purpose we did the rock pad was so that it would wick water and keep everything moist. And then we actually bolted and tap-ponned all of the stones and everything, mortared everything in together.
We could have built this in probably 25% of the time that we took to build this. But his wife, Lindsay, spent a month inside the grotto just doing detail work.
So the stuff that looks like moss-covered roots all through the ceiling and everything is literally just waterfall foam to form all of these things, create the shapes, and then go back through, do the moss work. And then we did install a drip line around the very top.
I know people are thinking right now foam is not going to hold up, but she didn't just foam stuff to the walls. Some stuff is mortared, some stuff is drilled into the concrete walls with big bolts.
All stuff.
You can almost anything I've grabbed a hold of in there, you can hang from it. It's not coming off the wall. Crazy. And the vault that we started with is a 26,000 pound 8x8 concrete vault with the opening in the front of it. And that whole thing was set with the massive excavator.
Alright, all this first person footage is starting to give me the vibe that I just attached a GoPro to my dog's collar, and now we're having a great fun day at the lake, and I'm reviewing the footage of him exploring and sniffing around and checking things out and chasing the fish and just having a good time. But I'm thankful that Brad did all this because we get nice, clean, detailed looks at a lot of the amazing little aspects of this water feature. This side area just looks so natural with the way the water's crashing down. It looks like some sort of spring just bursting up out of the rocks and feeding this whole feature. And of course the plantings are integrated so well with the feature. You can see that little grass area there as well as the lily pads right in the front. This whole feature is just meant to be swam in by humans and fish alike and just serve both a natural purpose and, you know, recreational enjoyment for people. So it is just the perfect combination of both. You can see that beautiful flowering lily in the bottom left there, pink. This whole feature is honestly, it's one of a kind. It's amazing. And yet, as we pan over to Dave, he's clearly a troubled man. Let's see what it is he's pondering.
Hey, Dave, the top frog with Pondscapes of Charlotte, came down to see my buddy, John G. And I'm going to tell you what, you heard all about this thing and how crazy it is, but we got to get down to the nitty gritty. Have you been skinny dipping with your wife yet?
No, man, people keep coming in. I mean, we haven't had a moment alone since the thing's been plugged in. I have had to send her naked bum back in the house so many times in the last few days.
People show up?
So if we want to see more about like how this was built, where can we find that at?
Man, if you want to know more about this, you guys just need to tune in to our YouTube channel. And yeah, absolutely. And I'm really interested in hearing from people. What do they really want to know more about? Most people just want the cliff notes, you know? I'm totally a teacher at heart, so if there's stuff that people really want to know more about, I'm going to put more content together and share what we've done. Not only that, but the main experience of what it's like afterwards. Literally 1:45 on Saturday, I put my hat down and I sat over here in the shade and kids started showing up for the first party at 2. You never seen kids spend so much time exploring in a swimming pool in your entire life, and with their masks and their goggles and digging under rocks and looking under the sticks and swimming with the koi. It was just magical, and it was like the whole thing came together, and everybody's love and everybody's passion and all the art that went into it, and it's like instantly being used for exactly what we imagined it would be used for. It was incredible.
If you want to check out more Modern Design Aquascaping on YouTube, make sure to check out their channel to see more of these video. You guys mind if I go for a swim?
Do it, man.
Awesome.
Do it. Wear it out. It is chilly, 70 degrees and refreshing, so
hey, I can't
be ready. I'll get you a towel.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more on this pond, check out Modern Design Aquascaping on YouTube. But for now, I'm going to jump in. Peace! Amazing. This is so cool.